Welcome to Notepad. I'm your host Ibrahim Sani. The focus, of course, towards end of February is whether or not we're going to see a prolonged extension of the MCO past the 4th March extension that was already been announced previously. And how does this impact the SME, the small and medium-sized enterprises around the country? As we all know, an unemployment rate is at 4.8%. 770,000 people are currently out of jobs. And of course, these are all lagging data ending 31st December last year. We're looking at numbers that might be less optimistic for this quarter because of the MCO 2.0. But the true engine of growth will always be the SME. We're looking at an employer rate of anywhere between 60 to 95% of workers currently being employed by the SME sector. And how can the SME boost the growth of the nation, not just for themselves, not just for the corporations and the employers and employees within that space, but the nation itself? Here to discuss this with us is Datuk Michael Kang, President of the SME Association of Malaysia. Datuk Michael, thanks for taking the time to speak with us. Let's do a quick check into what the mood or the feel of the SME sector is right now. Are they optimistic about the situation? Are they feeling in trouble? What's the story like?
I think during this MCO2, I think most of the SME, although yes, they are facing consider a lot of pain if compared to MCO1. But at least MCO2, the government really opened up quite a numbers of business, a lot of business to operate. I think government should open up more and more business. Although we are extend currently the MCO2 already extend until 4th March. I think the way I look at it, you can see that the government are a lot more businesses to operate, so that we can be able to take care of the economy and then able to help the SME to overcome the problem which are faced, like especially cash flow. If SME can start their business, operate, strictly follow the SOP, I think SME should able to overcome the problem. So I think we hope that you can see that even tomorrow until 4th March, it's still extended of MCO or CMCO. The way I look at it, more and more business allowed to operate. So we hope that the government can open up all the sectors so that SME can start rebuild the business and rebuild our economy and move towards better economy development for our country.
Why do you believe that opening up sectors is crucial right now? Because we understand that the government is trying to slowly open up, and not all sectors are opening up because they want to control the pandemic and because they want to manage this expectation where some clusters are growing out of control. What would be some of the arguments that you think is important for the country to know when it comes to opening up all sectors of the SME sector, as per you suggested earlier?
Yeah, I think the most important you can see, because pandemic, even we talk about COVID-19 will never able to go away. I think they're going to be with our life, a part of our life. It will be forever here with us. So we need to learn how to survive with the COVID-19. At the same time, taking care of the public health. At the same time, we have to take care of the economy. I think the most important, we must help the industry to create more jobs, to help the people of the country have a rise on the table. This is very important. That's why we say we have to open up all the sectors so that create more jobs. Everyone able to have food on the table. At the same time, everyone is even today we talk about private and the rakyat. If they're able to follow strictly on the SOP to survive with the COVID-19, I think this is the way to go. New norm, new way of living. I think this is, we cannot deny that, we cannot go back to the traditional way. Traditional, we can go out easily, we do not need to follow SOP. We can meet anybody as we like. But now we can't because of the COVID-19. We have to wear masks, we have to wash our hands, then we have to keep the social distancing. if ever try not to go out to go to the crowded area and then to control the COVID-19, we won't be able to spread more the virus. So to open up the economy, we hope that the government should open up all sectors. We only lock down those who are cluster which is affected in that COVID-19 by affected to lock down for 14 days and rectify all the COVID-19 and pandemic, and then we can focus on the economy development.
Let's talk a little bit more about cash flow, Dato', because that has always been the story for SME. And even before COVID, cash flow is already a problem for a majority of SMEs, cash flow management. Now it's even worse. In fact, a lot of businesses have gone out of business. There's some estimates that over 50,000 businesses are closing per month since the pandemic started in the country. And do you think that the SME businesses can come out stronger after the pandemic because cash flow continues to be a big issue?
I think cash flow is still the major problem for the SME. As everyone knows that during the first pandemic, the MCO1, SMEs still have a lot of cash flow, cash on hand. They're able to survive to pass through. But MCO2, most of the SME are still breathing because of MCO1, and the last one whole year they did not do much on the business, so their cash flow are very tight, and even some of them are still bleeding, still in the red. So they hope that the government can allow them to run the business. They can rebuild back, earn the profit, and to pay back whatever they lost for the during pandemic one. I think this is very important. So that is why we hope that again the governments provide a lot of assistance, especially on the bank loan and soft loan for the SME, and 3.5%. I think during this MCO2, government also allocate 2 billion immediate to get the SME and also micro SME to take out the loan to overcome their cash flow issue.
Dato', when we look at the GDP numbers last year and we split the activity by economic activities, we split the GDP by economic activities, only manufacturing was the one that is positive, not just for the quarter of last year, but also the entire year. And when you look at all the other sectors like agriculture, mining and quarrying, services sector and construction, they are all in the negative. Do you believe that there has to be some form of assistance by the government or any other people to actually help companies or SMEs within these specific sectors, i.e., agriculture, mining, construction, or even services, which is of course the biggest pie of them all? What do you think should be the thinking when it comes to SMEs in all these sectors?
Yes, definitely. Definitely on these sectors, we need a lot of help from the government, especially on digitization. I think especially we talk about, yes, manufacturing contribute a lot, during even the way I see 2021, manufacturing sector still positive, especially with those who are in export. Like a lot of members in manufacturing on export, their sales growth compared to before the pandemic, last year March, I think their sales almost increased double, some even increased triple. They have a good sales. That means that's why the manufacturing sector, I not worried about that. It will grow positive during 2021. But economy, we talk about agricultural sectors and other sectors. We hope that government can give more help. I think agriculture is essential services, essential needed for the country, for the people. If government can move more effort to help the farmer and agricultural to move into the digitals, apply the technology to help them to grow and to produce enough for our own country. And we call the food security. If we can solve ourselves, I think our economy will grow. Not only produce for our own, but it's also for the export. But the one is what is lacking is I think will be still not foresee will be whether can move positive, especially service sector, domestic consumption. I think domestic consumption is the biggest contribution to the economy. You can see the budget this year, the government allocated, which is targeted at 6.5 to 7.5% growth GDP. I think service sectors will be the biggest contribution to this GDP contribution. I think we hope that the government can put in more effort more assistance to the SME, especially domestic consumption on the digitization. Because you can see the household economy are developing. It's the new norm. So everyone are staying at home. They are not going out. So they will buying whatever their necessity through online system. So delivery, all those areas we need to improve so that the SME can sell their products, sell their services through online system, so that those who are consumers who are able to buy online, to do online. I think this is the new trend, new way of doing business. All SME have to adopt digital, have to adopt technology, only able to survive, only able to pass through the pandemic, and also increase their productivity. At the same time, I think we should be able to go global. I think this is very important for 2021 and 2022. We move forward for SME.
Dato', let's talk a little bit more about your members in the SME Association right now. You have met with them regularly. I'm sure you met them over Zoom or over Skype or something. But when you hear their voices, when you hear their concerns, what would be the top 2 or top 3 of their worries that you want to share with us?
I think the top 2 or 3 worry is, especially is that our concern is the government. Can government allow to open up all the businesses, so that they can really move forward to generate their own cash flow. This is what to solve their cash flow issue. This is the main SME facing. The most SME facing is cash flow. So if government can allow them to operate, to run their business, so they can solve their cash flow. At the same time, the other one is the market. Market is we talk about online business. Have to move towards online. So we hope that the government can put in more effort, more assistance, speed up the process of the digitization assistance. So this too is the most important for the SME now, because SME, the one is solving the cash flow. The second is market is using how to use the digitals, to move forward. This is technology application for the SME.
And of course, Dato', a few weeks ago, you were quoted in the press saying that you would want some form of assistance from the government because, to quote you, the government must come up with a solution to help SMEs pay for their rental, pay for their staff salary, pay for their bank loans. It is tough, right? Because, yes. I mean, we're trying to remind ourselves what the government has done so far, which is a lot. When we talk about Penjana, when we talk about Laksana and all the other stuff that has been put in place. And it's only so much that they can do. But do you feel that they can do more? At least, talking about bank loan moratorium or any of those other stuff, do you feel that that more needs to be done?
Yeah, that is why government can specifically helping the industry, SME industry, those who are still not allowed to operate for the last 1 whole year, especially tourist and tourist-related industry, private education enrichment center, all those event, even some of the biggest restaurant, whatever they face, because pandemic 1, they are not allowed to operate. Pandemic now, even MCO 2, they are also not allowed to operate. Even they can only operate, as the huge rental they had to pay, especially they have to operate in the mall, retail, they had to pay all the rental. That's why we hope that MCO2, if the government can allow them to operate, then they don't need any assistance from the government. But if they're not, a government should have to come in to help them to pay the rental, to extend, to waive all the statutory payments so that they can overcome their cash flow. Because as I mentioned earlier, that the SME, that after this MCO2, most of the SME are bleeding. So if they're not allowed to operate, they cannot generate their own cash flow. So mean that they have to shut down the business. When they're shut down, they cannot able to pay all the statutory payments, include the rentals or fixed expenditures. I think they have to shut down. When the moment they shut down, that means they restart the business is very difficult. Then they have to lay off a lot of staff. So a lot of people will lose their job. So this is why I urge the government can focus on helping all those industries, and at the same time create a business for them and then allow them to operate, but have to follow strictly on SOP, so to make sure they can survive, they can contribute to the country economy. I think it's very important, create more jobs for the people, so that people can have the food on the table.
Datuk Michael Kang, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation on the SME Association of Malaysia. We'll be right back after these messages.
Yeah.
Welcome back. This is Notepad. I'm your host, Ibrahim Sani. As we all know, the SME sector employs 90% of the Malaysian employees. And we're looking at how the businesses in the country, particularly the small and medium-sized enterprises, can actually push forward and grow their business coming out of the pandemic. Joining us is Datuk Michael Kang, the president of the SME Association of Malaysia. Datuk, we spoke quite a bit about the need or the importance for the government to come in and help the SME Association. We also did talk about the risk that is involved in the pandemic. But one thing that we have to also take note is that the unemployment number is rising, has been rising throughout the entire year. And when we look at the numbers right now, 770,000 Malaysians are out of work. That is documented. We're also talking about underemployment, meaning that they're neither being fully employed or being unemployed. We're looking at gig workers who do not have or do not enjoy the kind of protection that a full-time employee enjoys, like insurance and coverages and all the other stuff. We're also looking at a situation where things might not be getting better for 2021 at least, because the vaccine rollout is just only doing so next week. And it's not that easy to roll out a vaccine and get that magic number that 80% of Malaysians to be vaccinated. Because of all this, it looks like there is a way out and there is a way for us to recover, but it's not anytime soon. And because of that, the SMEs might need time to survive just enough until the economy comes back strong. Do you feel that the SME Association is doing all it can to help your members, to help the SMEs out there, to just cross that bridge until everybody comes back to normal, maybe early next year or even late this year? Do you feel that enough assistance is being given to them to make it work for them in order for them to just survive these next few months?
I think the government are trying to help. Government are coming out quite a lot of packages, quite a lot of assistance. So now what they need is to speed up the process, to speed up a lot more businesses, open up all sectors, allow them to operate. At the same time, this is what we have been proposed to government as well, to roll out the digitization, to provide a platform for the gig economy for every single one, include micro, they can go online. Because there is no choice, there is a new trend, we have to go online. That's why I even proposed, giving a proposal to the SMEDAC. SMEDAC is one who take care of the informal sectors, micro and SME. I think they are the one who have to quickly roll it out, to work it out, to get all the informal sectors, micros, and even include the agricultural sectors, and SME to onboard on the e-commerce, training, digitization, so that they can sell their product online, moving towards to the new norm of doing business. You can't stay at the old traditional way, still selling at the Pasar Malam. Pasar Malam had to go as well, have to go to digitals, to use all the cashless, everyone, even the home consumer can buy online by the Pasar Malam and deliver at home, or pick up at the Pasar Malam, using how to convert all these businesses into digital, online business, e-commerce platform. We have no choice. This is new trend, new way to do it.
And of course, Dato', we are also trying to find out what is happening around Malaysia. Do you feel that SMEs in other towns or other states are doing better than other states? What is the feeling like for the entire grouping of Malaysia for SMEs?
I think you can see that the other state, the COVID-19 spread is not so big numbers as compared to Klang Valley. I think Klang Valley, they hope that people in the Klang Valley, the industry, private in the Klang Valley had to take very precautions. They have to very strictly follow the SOP to control the COVID-19 the spread. I think this is their duty. They have to taking care of their own health, also have to take care of the public health. At the same time, everyone can move forward. That is why you can see the other state SME are doing moving more faster, easier because of the digitalization against the COVID-19 is the spread is not so wide. And again, you can see that after the 19th of February, most of the state already move into CMCO. They allowed to all sector can allow to do business, but at the same time, we hope that they can take care of the public health to control the COVID-19 spread. If they have a symptom, please stay at home, quarantine at home, and report to the KKM so that we're able to monitor all this, control the COVID to spread, so that everyone can able to move freely and do their business, develop the economy. We hope that the Klang Valley SME and also people stay in Klang Valley also do the same thing, control it, and we can move forward.
Have you discussed the vaccine rollout with your members? Do you feel that you guys are ready to take on the vaccine? Do you guys want to queue up and perhaps get the vaccines for the employees as well of the SME sector? What's the discussion like when it comes to SME and the vaccine?
I think on the vaccine, I think when I talk to most of the SME, I think all of them are willing to take out the vaccine because they're willing to register, and for their employee especially, they have to move forward, especially not only for local employee, even foreign worker, they're willing to help them to register with the government and to move forward and to take the vaccine so that at least they can moving forward, develop our economy and do not worry about the spread of the COVID-19.
All right. Thank you, Dato'. Thank you for sharing such an interesting conversation when it comes to the SMEs. Sure. Final word, what do you think is the expectation of the SMEs? Do you feel that you guys need more help or less help?
Definitely, SME definitely need help, especially, that's why Ajay mentioned, those who are in informal sector, those who are struggling, those are still bleeding. We hope that the government can put in some effort to help them to overcome during this pandemic so that they can go back to normal, to provide more jobs, create more jobs. At the same time, to help them on the transformation into the digital business and deploy the technology. I think SME definitely need deploy using technology to transform their business to move toward automation, using more AI and Industry 4.0. I think this is very important for the SME now.
Thank you very much. That was Michael Kang, the President of the SME Association of Malaysia. We'll go for one more short break. When we come back, we'll discuss a little bit more about the vaccine rollout in the country.